I told my husband I'm leaving him and taking our kids after discovering he's been secretly recording my therapy sessions without my knowledge to use what I say against me in arguments, and now he's saying I'm overreacting to something he did out of desperation to save our marriage when I won't communicate with him directly. I'm 34, and my husband Ryan is 36. We've been married for 9 years and have 2 kids, ages 6 and 4. Our marriage has been rocky for the past 2 years. We argue a lot, mostly about parenting decisions, money, and division of household labor. 6 months ago, I started seeing a therapist. I was feeling overwhelmed and depressed and needed someone to talk to. I see Dr. Mitchell once a week. These sessions have been really helpful for me to process my feelings and work through issues. I have my therapy sessions in our home office while Ryan watches the kids. I always close the door for privacy. I've talked about our marriage in therapy, about my frustrations with Ryan, things I struggle with in our relationship. It's a safe space where I can be completely honest. Last week, I was looking for a file on our computer and found a folder I didn't recognize. When I opened it, it was full of audio files. I clicked on one and heard my own voice. It was one of my therapy sessions from 2 months ago. I felt sick. I checked the folder. There were recordings of at least 15 of my therapy sessions going back 4 months. Every single session I'd had in our home office was recorded. I confronted Ryan immediately. I asked if he'd been recording my therapy sessions. He looked caught and admitted yes. I asked why the hell he would do that. Ryan said he needed to understand what I was really thinking because I wouldn't talk to him. I said those were private therapy sessions and recording them without my knowledge or consent was a massive violation. Ryan said he was desperate to save our marriage and I'd shut him out of my feelings. I asked how he was recording them. Ryan showed me a small recording device he'd hidden in the office bookshelf. He said he'd been listening to the recordings to try to understand my perspective. I asked what he'd done with the information. Ryan admitted he'd used things I said in therapy to counter me in arguments. I thought back to recent fights and realized he'd been throwing my exact words or concerns back at me, things I'd only said to my therapist. I felt betrayed on a level I can't even describe. I told Ryan this was unforgivable. He said he was sorry, but he didn't know what else to do, that I'd become so closed off. I said me seeing a therapist was my way of working on myself and our marriage, and he'd violated that safe space. Ryan said if I was really working on our marriage, I'd talk to him instead of a stranger. I told Ryan I was leaving and taking the kids. He begged me not to. He said he'd delete the recordings and never do it again. I said the damage was done. He'd already violated my privacy in a profound way. Ryan said I was overreacting, that couples look at each other's phones and emails all the time. I said this wasn't looking at texts, this was secretly recording privileged therapeutic conversations. I called Dr. Mitchell and told her what happened. She was horrified and said this was a serious breach of therapeutic privacy. She said she might need to report it to licensing boards. I told her I was considering legal action. Ryan's been begging me to stay. He said he made a mistake, but he was trying to save our marriage. I said you don't save a marriage by spying on your spouse's therapy. I've been staying with my sister for a week with the kids. Ryan calls constantly. His parents called and said I'm destroying our family over something Ryan did out of love and desperation. My mom completely supports me leaving. My best friend thinks what Ryan did is unforgivable. My therapist says she's never heard of anything like this and it represents a fundamental violation of trust. Ryan sent me a letter apologizing and saying he understands why I'm upset but begging me to try counseling together. I don't know how I could ever trust him again. I keep thinking about all the things I said in therapy, personal things about my childhood, my body image issues, my fears, my frustrations with him, and he was listening to all of it and using it as ammunition. Am I the asshole?